All right, so here we have a silver Genji. Um, Before we get started, I want to talk about a couple things here. In your post, um, you said you had three or more gold medals. So, first thing about that is the gold medal system. The medal system in general is absolutely awful, and it promotes bad play. So, never, ever, ever use how many medals you have as an indication that you are doing well. All right, the medal system is useless. It is pointless. It should be taken out of the game. Let me explain. So, there's the eliminations medal. Elimination medal is the most useless of all the medals because what it does is if you do one damage to an enemy team member and they die within a certain time frame, I don't know off the top of my head what that time frame is, you get credit for the kill. That's why you get so many Moiras bragging about having gold elims, because all they have to do is throw their damage orb into the middle of the enemy team, and it will touch and damage all six of the enemy team, and they will get credit for 6 eliminations. Right? So you could do 1 damage to 6 people and get 6 credits for eliminations. Like, it is useless. It does not, uh, yeah, it's stupid, right? And then let's look at damage. Sure, you know what? Doing damage is a little more useful than eliminations, but at the same time, all it does is promote toxicity, right? Because at every rank, you always get those tanks who are, oh, I've got gold damage, or DPS are doing shit, because for whatever reason, the tanks have it in their mind that damage characters always need gold damage. Well, that's not the case. Like, you look at Reinhardt and Zarya. Zarya at high charge can do more damage than a Reaper, right? And it's easier to aim her gun than most DPS characters. Same thing with Reinhardt. He does 75 damage per swing, and it hits everybody in his arc. So when you're hitting a brawl character and Reinhardt's swinging and hitting 2 or 3 characters at once, that's 150 to 225 damage per swing. That's more than most DPS, right? So they have the potential to do absurd amounts of damage. Um, and not only that, but looking at it from a mechanical point of view, if you're running some double hit scan like McCree Widow, right, and your McCree spends the entire game fanning the hammer into the enemy Roadhog, yeah, sure, you know what, absolutely, your McCree is going to have a lot of damage. But if he didn't secure that kill, all that damage is wasted, and all he did was feed the enemy team. Feed them support ultimates, feed Hog his ultimate, because Hog gets a lot of ultimate using his take a breather. Whereas if you have a Widow who, only gets 1 or 2 picks, a team fight, right? She's not going to have a gold medal and might not even have gold elims. But if those picks came from at the start of the fight, picking off their Zenyatta, picking off their Moira, picking off their Ana, well, your Widow just won the team fight for you by getting 1 kill, right? She's not going to have gold medals, but gold damage or gold elims or anything like that. But that 1 kill was more clutch than your McCree fanning the hammer into the Roadhog, right? So never use medals as an indication you are doing well, because they are useless and they are pointless. Um, there are a few exceptions, like after 1 round, if your Roadhog has silver healing at like 1200, okay, there's an issue with supports. Like Roadhog, right? Silver healing should not be 1200 after an entire round. Same thing with damage. If you have like a silver or gold medal and damage is only like 2000 after 1 round, there is an issue with your tank line. Not your DPS, your tank line. But so that's the first thing, is don't use metals. Um, the second thing, said you're not sure if the loss was your fault or your team's fault. The one thing I want to say about that is you are the only constant in every single one of your games. So never ever ever blame your team. All right? Sure, you know what? Sometimes you're going to get feeders, sometimes you're going to get throwers, whatever. You can't control that. All right? So don't worry about your team. If you're looking to climb, if you're looking to improve, look internally, look at your own gameplay. Think about, regardless of the throwers, regardless of your team, think about how you could have had a bigger impact on this game, right? Never blame a loss on your team, because there is always something that you could have done. There's always something that you could have improved on, right? And that goes for any player at any rank playing any hero. Unless you're a pro, there's no such thing as like a perfect game. Even pros, make mistakes. So always look at your own gameplay and try not to blame your teammates for your losses. It's again, that only breeds toxicity, that only breeds bad habits. Um, from there, let's actually get onto your gameplay. So you're running a Ryan Orisa, so you've got double shield, and the reason being is I think because you have a Bastion on attack, which all right, at silver, yeah, this could work. Running a Zen Moira, which is okay. Zen's not too good in the current meta. He's not terrible, but there are just other supports that you get more value out of. Zen's utility comes from his ability to do damage and his Discord orbs. His healing is absolute garbage, and then of course Transcendence. Right. So the idea with Zen is that you want to build your ult really quickly, so you have Transcendence to counter enemy team ults. Um, there's just other supports that you should be playing. But I guess if you're playing with a Bastion, Baptiste would probably be the better pick. And then Moira. Moira is a good support right now. She has an absurd amount of healing, so that's fine. And then playing Genji. So you have to look at your team comp and think, all right, what is my job as Genji? So here you have one hell of a front line, right? And Genji has a lot of mobility. So what you should be thinking as Genji is, all right, how can I get behind the team? How can I get in their back line and just be annoying, right? So yes, if you see an opportunity, like Genji has a couple of combos to one shot kill pretty much any squishy. Like I think his highest damage combo does 248 damage, so you know he can kill almost anything instantly, right? Um, and so you should be thinking, all right, I need to get into the enemy's backline. I need to spam their tanks from behind. I need to pressure their squishy characters. I need to be a threat, right? So your team now has to choose between turning to deal with you or letting the Bastion shred their front line. Right? So that is kind of your job here. Is you should be looking to get behind the team and just be this annoying fly in their ointment. You don't even have to secure the kills, right? Um, it's better if you do, right? Especially if you catch somebody out of position, if you see that opportunity to dive in. Um, but even if you're just in the back line, like tossing your shurikens into the back of the enemy tank, you are threatening enough behind that if they don't deal with you, you're going to kill somebody, you're going to do enough damage. Or if they turn to deal with you, their front line is going to get shredded by your own bastion. Um, yeah, so now again, all the combos that I know of work on PC. I don't know yeah, I am not sure. Hold on, I gotta turn game volume down.
Optimizing strategy. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if these one-shot combos work. They should on console, but that's definitely something you should probably look into. We can talk about that later. All right, let's talk about your cooldowns. So you did a little cheeky shot into the diva there. Looks like you missed pretty much all of them. That's fine. That's just a mechanic thing that you're gonna have to practice and work on, and it comes with a bit of playtime. And then you deflected there. It looks like you were trying to deflect the Moira orb, which is fine. It denies the enemy Moira her ultimate, and your cooldown is a little bit longer than Moira's orb, but that's an okay use of it, right? More so because you deny the enemy Moira ult charge than protect your team. It really doesn't do that much damage, and when you have a Moira of your own, it's very easy for her to heal it up. So really, what you could even let it hit your team and just let Moira heal up your team. I think Moira gets more ult charge from healing than doing damage anyway. But you have to be a little careful. If you're going to use deflect, you got to make sure that you at least hit the orb, right? So stand in front of hit. Deflect has a fairly small hitbox, so you have to stand like right in front of it for it to, or a little bit off to the side. Um, this is good. Okay, so first little bit here. So you did a left click dash in, right? Junkrat's not turning to look at you, so you don't need deflect yet. So you could have done one of your combos and instantly killed this Junkrat. Because he has no support, because there's no one even looking at him, because he's on the high ground, right, and away from his team, and kind of isolated. especially because your team picked off their Echo. There is no one who can possibly support him. So I'm not going to go too in depth on the mechanics of how these work. I recommend, if you don't know these, watching guides on YouTube. There are a lot of them that some very good Genji players, some much better Genji players than me, have posted. But there are three basic one. There is your dash fan buffer. There is your fan deflect dash, triple headshot dash. Those are the three main ones that you're going to be using with engaging. There's also ghost dashing, which you use on low health enemies when you secure the kill. But your basic engage one, your primary use of getting in is your fan deflect dash, where you basically you fan, so you throw your three shurikens out. That's right mouse button on PC. I don't know what it is on console. You dash in, you deflect, or sorry, you fan, deflect, dash. So you basically fan in, you jump around them, um, you hold up your deflect when they start shooting at you, and then you use your dash to escape. So Genji, like any dive hero, you want to make sure you have one of your cooldowns to escape. Right, so if you dash in, you better make sure that you have deflect on cooldown, or you have high ground, like a wall that you can climb up to escape, or you have to make sure you can secure that kill and reset your dash. That is very, very important, is always make sure you have an escape available. So this is okay, because you have deflect available, dashing in like this is fine. But make sure you don't use deflect too early, or make sure that you can kill this Junkrat to reset your dash so you have something to escape. Because right now you can see that their Sigma has turned to look at you, and it looks like their Diva is as well, so they can start to pressure you, so you need something to get away from those characters. Because you can't do a whole lot against Diva because of her armor. Same thing with Sigma, is that he can poke at you from range and just get healed. Um, I guess let's see what you do here. Nice. We'll get Mega, yep. So I don't, I mean, I don't think you needed to use dash there. I would have tried to avoid it because, you know, you had just used deflect, so now you have no cooldowns. So if that Diva pressured you, you would probably be dead because you just have nowhere to run. You have no cooldowns to escape, and then their Diva, for whatever reason, just didn't even think you'd be going for Mega and just walked around you. Whoops. Okay. I like that. So you saw that your team was focusing down their Sigma, so you went in to support them and secured the kill. That was good. I liked it. Right, you dashed in, fanned a quick melee at the end. That was good. Focusing the discorded target, that's good. Oh yeah. So Baby Diva has a really small hitbox, and she's very tough to hit. And your shurikens have an interesting hitbox, so you don't have to land like a headshot. If you turn slightly to the side and fan, so fire off your three shurikens in a fan, there is a distance where two of them can hit, even though it appears that neither of them have hits, depending on the size of the hitbox, and it helps you hit these baby divas, or these tracers, like these small characters with a small hitbox. So what you're doing here, I like this. You're using your double jump and your wall climb to get up and above and kind of shoot down. It makes you very difficult to hit and just very annoying to deal with. But against baby divas, tracers, things with small hitboxes like that, definitely use your right click, and when you're in this close, aim your crosshairs slightly to one side of their head. That way you can potentially hit two shurikens, in which case if you get two headshots, it's two headshots dash, and they're dead. Nice. Again, deflect wasn't needed there. I think that was just kind of habit from your part. You know, they put up the wall to block the Junkrat. It was a bad wall. Like, you know, she could have blocked off this entire entrance. She gave an opportunity for Junkrat to walk around. what I would be doing here is wall climbing up the wall, because then you are above Junkrat, and Junkrat can not hit things above him. It's very difficult for him. But good kill. It's nice playing Genji with a Zenyatta, right? When you focus those discorded targets. So Mei is one of your hard counters. You have to be very careful when going in against a Mei. Make sure you have support, make sure you have an escape. The changes to her freeze allow you to get out. Again, dash wasn't needed there. Yeah, you wanted to go get the health pack, which is fine, but your team isn't pushing in yet. You had time to just kind of walk over there. Anyway, so like I was saying with Mei, you have to be very careful when going in against her, because she can freeze to slow you down and headshot you, pretty much kill you. So even if she doesn't get the full freeze on you, just slowing you down enough so it's easier for her to land those headshots, it can be a death sentence to you, right? Especially if her team is there to support her, which their team wasn't. They did have a Sigma there who was kind of in range, so if she had slowed you down, even body shot you, and then Sigma hit you once with his orbs, I think you probably would have died there. So just, be careful, make sure you can get the kill, or make sure you have support when diving a Mei.
My ultimate is ready.
Alright, let's see what you do with Dragon Blade.
My ultimate is charging.
So far, what I'm seeing is good. You're getting in their backline, you're being annoying, as I said. Yeah, that one's tough, so you're just... let's go back and watch that. Let's see what you could have done to get out there.
I am repaired.
So you're going on a flank, you're... pick off the Hanzo, which is good. So one little thing there, you're aiming for the body, right? Your crosshairs are pointed down a little bit. Just point your crosshairs up a little bit and try and hit those headshots. You're going to burn things down a little quicker. So let's see. So right here, your team is pushing across bridge. You're kind of in their backline. You're popping shots off. You know that there is a Mega over here, right? And looking at their team, their biggest threat to you is their Moira, right? Because she doesn't require tracking. Her beam has a long range, and she has Moira. Well, I guess she doesn't because you just use it on cooldown. But she is your biggest threat. So you want to avoid this target if at all possible. So right now, putting in shots in the back of the D.Va is fine. She still has armor, so you're not going to do too much damage to her. You could try and hit the Lucio, right? Because you already have blades, so you don't really need to pump damage in to get that ult charge. So what you could do is try pumping damage into this Lucio. Because he is squishy, you can probably secure the kill on him, provided you hit enough shots. Who is discorded? Nobody is discorded. So Zenyatta needs to get on that. Your Zenyatta needs to discord somebody. If somebody gets discorded, definitely focus that target. So yeah, you can stay here. Like, they haven't turned to look at you yet. Going back here to kind of play around cover to reload is fine. That's a good idea. Stay out of line of fire while you're vulnerable. But just, hang out here, right? They've got a Moira orb coming, but you can just move off to the side. You're Mei is freezing Lucio, so that's going to make your shots a lot easier. Help out your Mei, secure the kill on the Lucio. Stay away from their Moira, right? And then if she does come to pressure you, you have both your cooldowns. You have dash. I mean, deflect doesn't do anything against Moira, so you have dash to escape, right? You can use dash, wall climb to get back here, go get the health pack if you need, and just basically get away from her, right? She can't really chase you down if you have dash available. So, yeah, just stay away from Moira. I'm not too sure what your plan was here going over here. If you are trying to 1v1 a Moira, that's where you need these instant kill combos, right? So from that distance, because you are so close to the Moira, your dash fan buffer isn't really going to work. So the next bet is your triple headshot dash, which it looks like you try to do here. Basically, you fire your 3 shots in a line, and then you dash into them. Provided 2 or 3 of your primary shurikens hit the headshot, of that and a dash will kill this Moira. But if you're just landing body shots, um, you're probably going to die first. Yeah, so looks like you tried that combo, but again, you hit body shots. And then, she uses her orb, and then her stupidly long-range beam, and secure the kill on you. And you died with Dragon Blade, which isn't good. Although it looks like your team is somehow losing this fight. Could have bladed there. Probably secured that team fight, but... So your team is losing now. Almost everybody is dead. So I would be careful about pushing in here. So the idea with flankers is that you want to push in with your team, right? You want to be annoying in their backline. You want to wait till your team engages so that the enemy team is distracted with the main force of your team. So right now, if you go in and poke, because you have none of your team left alive, the entire enemy team can just turn to look at you and deal with you, right? And because you already have Dragon Blade, you don't need to poke to build it. So any damage you do here, unless you secure a kill, is basically just building the enemy ult charge. And even if you do secure a kill, chances are they are going to respawn before your team has a chance to push in. So at this point, you should just... Being over here is okay. It's kind of risky, but you should just be somewhere hiding, waiting for your team to respawn, waiting for your team to push back in, and then engage with your team. Right? Play as a full team of 6. Don't 1v6. Yeah, because now Moira's looking at you. Health pack is fine. Yeah. So there, you just fed. You fed hard.
My ultimate is ready.
And now your team is staggering. So Mei's gonna die. So this is one of the issues at lower ranks, is that they don't reset. They don't regroup. And they stagger. So right now, because you went in and you died, your team is now getting staggered, right? So you always want to fight 5 or 6v6, right? Even 5v6, you are at a severe disadvantage, and the fewer people you have engaging in a team fight, the greater disadvantage you are at. So it is okay to not constantly be pressuring choke or point, especially on 2 CP maps where that second point, really the only way you can win it, because the respawn is so close, is by these huge team wights with ultimate combinations. So don't poke like that, because all you're doing is you're feeding enemy ults. You don't need to bill yours. Just don't do it, right? Just wait for your team to reset, and you should be in comms. You should be telling your team to reset. You should be telling them to regroup. If they're not in comms, hopefully that new scroll wheel comes out pretty quickly so you can use the regroup command. And hopefully your team actually listens to it. Because right now you got 2 going in. Or you had 3, right, with Mei alive. And there's no way they're going to win a 3v6. There's just no way. But let's talk about Blade really quickly. So before you Dragon Blade, you want to look at the enemy team and think what they could have, right? So if they have anybody with stuns, in this case they have Sigma with Accretion. Now, hitting Accretion on a Blading Genji is pretty difficult, but it's still possible. So what I would be doing is waiting until he uses it. The second thing that they could have is Beat, which they do have. Right, and you could probably assume that because it's been long enough and you haven't heard Beat used. So a smart Lucio is going to use Drop the Beat. So what I would be doing is my first target with Blade would be their Lucio, right? So you can kill him before he has a chance to use Drop the Beat, or better yet, if you can kill him where he uses Beat, but if you kill him in the air before he lands it, that's even better. Tough to do, but that should be your first target. If they have anybody else with a stun, so if they have a McCree, if they have a Mei or an Ana, you want to make sure that those stuns, that McCree stun, the Brig Bash, the Ana Sleep Dart, you want to make sure that is gone and used before you dash in, because all those are basically a death sentence to Blading Genji, where they can just The other thing too are ultimates, because a blading Genji, 100% in higher ranks. Reinhardt's will solo shatter, Zarya's will solo grab you, a Sigma will solo slam you. Because Genji Blade is such a powerful ultimate and it's such a valuable ultimate that builds relatively slowly, it is absolutely worth it to burn one of those other ults, one of those crowd control ults, to make sure you don't get a team wipe, especially if you get nanoed, right? So Sigma does have his ultimate. Um, you need to be mindful of that because that can happen. So basically, you just have to be careful. You have to pick and choose your targets. Lucio should be your first one. Junkrat, depending on positioning, could be your second, Moira third kind of thing. So right here, once again, don't go in, don't push in.
Team up for special attack.
Yeah.
Time to raise my aim.
So, with that, because you still had dash available, I probably would have tried to deflect the micro missiles because they do a lot of damage. So you could have done a significant damage to the diva there, and might have been able to get the DMEC on her before you got low on health. But I guess that was okay. You were jumping around, you were shooting from above, you were hard to track. The thing about diva is that she has such a wide weapon spread that she can just kind of do all this little tickle damage and just slowly burn you down. So she is a difficult target for Genji to dive, especially with her defense matrix, because she can just absorb all your shurikens and still shoot at you. Higher level divas are going to be able to burn you down pretty quickly. I would not take that 1v1 unless they're already low health and you know you can secure that. And there's beat. Okay. So it looks like you dashed in on Lucio and he was already low health. So if you had slashed him first instead of their Sigma, you would have killed him. And then you had the opportunity to kill their Sigma. And honestly, that's probably it. You might have been able to dash over here and get a couple slashes off on the Diva. Whether or not you could kill her, I don't know. But the other thing you need to pay attention to is look at your kill cam. Right? You are down 2. Where's the rest of your team? The rest of your team is walking in from spawn, right? Sure, your Zarya pop Transcendence here, probably an attempt to save, to counter dragons and save your tank here, but that's whatever. Again, you're a dive character. You want to fight 6v6. You want to dive in with your team. Especially using Genji Blade, you want the enemy team to be distracted by the rest of your team. So this was a bad Blade, right? You wasted Blade here. Even if you get 2 or 3 kills with this, because there is no one here to support you, because your team is dead, you wasted Blade here. There's no one to help you follow up. There's no one to help secure the kills. There's no one to help you capture point if you do pop off and get 3 or 4 kills here. So, yeah, this is not a good Genji Blade. And again, it comes down to that trickle effect that you guys are doing here, is that you are just slowly trickling in 2 or 3 at a time. You need to wait. You as a team need to wait. And somebody on your team, if no one's doing it, you have to, is command your team, is basically become that leader, become that shot caller, and just say, hey, team, let's wait, let's regroup as 6, and push in as a team, right? Stop trickling in, stop feeding, stop dying, right? And then when the rest of your team pushes in, go on that flank, single out that Lucio, use one of your one-hit kill combos on him, and then blade, right? And then from here, okay, if working on the mechanics from here, look at the rest of the team, right? So Lucio is your first easy kill, right? Assuming if you kill him before he gets beat, then you, again, a couple of slashes and a dash, and you can kill the Sigma. By then, your blade's almost going to be done, so you could dash over to this diva and get a couple slashes on her to do a lot of damage, and maybe secure that kill. So the blading targets that you've chosen here are difficult for you as a Genji to secure, right? Your other option is kill this Lucio and then use your dash reset to get over here and to try and pressure their Hanzo. But that wastes a lot of your blade. So again, you kind of want to wait until if the enemy team is grouped up, or at least in a position where you can use your dash resets to move from target to target. The basic idea with a dry blade, so a Genji blade without nano, is that you want to dash in, make sure you get that 50 damage. You can swipe, and then while swipe them in the back, double jump over top of them, swipe down, and right, and you just basically jump up, over, and around them, and keep on swiping until you kill them. Get that dash reset. Use your dash to dive to your next target, and keep on doing that. You always want to be jumping up and over them. It is much harder to track you as you are jumping up and around them. The other thing too with Genji Blade is before you blade, generally what you want to do is dash up into the air. If you are playing with like a Zarya or an Ana, because it is much easier to hit you while you are in the air with things like Zarya Bubble and Nano Boost. Right, it just makes it easier for your team to support you. Yeah, so that was a wasted blade. Didn't secure a kill. Team wasn't there to support you. Another thing you have to be wary of too is Junkrat Tire. That's another good use of Tire, is to basically go for that solo kill against a blading Genji. I think a Tire can actually kill you through Nano Boost, so another thing you need to be careful of. That's why I said Junkrat should be your next target after Lucio. To try and kill him before he gets that Tire off. But also, don't fight Junkrat in enclosed spaces like that stairway. It was good you stayed away from that, because Junkrat rebels in tight closed spaces. I would be shooting at the Junkrat there instead of the D.Va. See there, you had your team to support you, you secured the kill on the Moira, that's good. Good focus on the Sigma. So, when Sigma's using Kinetic Grasp, just don't shoot into it, because all you're doing is feeding his shields and he's going to be more difficult to kill. While he's Kinetic Grasping, he can't actually hit you, so just melee into him, right? Jump around him and throw your melee into him, right? You do 30 damage per melee. He was low enough health, 2 melees probably would have killed him. By shooting into him, you build his shield charge and it becomes more difficult for you to secure that kill on. It looks like he got killed by his own splash damage, which shows you just how low health he was. But and right here, because you were so low on health, just go get this health back. Right? That's an extra 150 health for you. It'll help you survive just a little bit longer. Especially because your healers are dead. Your Orisa should just back out at this point. Either push point and die on point, or back out. Right? There's 3 enemy team. Their Moira's ulting. Orisa still has full health and armor, right? So she can probably back away from this and survive. You, as Genji, should recognize that this fight is lost as well. Go get a health pack, go get this health pack, keep on moving over here, grab the Mega, and just escape away from this. So that's one of those times where you need to hit those headshots, right? The triple headshot dash is an insta-kill, so if you had hit those headshots and dashed into him, you would have killed the Junkrat. Genji is such a mechanically demanding hero that these are the things that you need to practice. And one of the things that if you're looking to climb, you need to practice Overwatch, not just play Overwatch. And what that might mean is going into the training room, going into custom games, and practicing these things like Genji's one-hit kill combos, and so taking a little bit of time out of every day, like 20 minutes, half an hour, playing one less game every day, and just taking that 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is, to practice these combos, to get used to the motions of it, to understand how they work, and it's going to help you again just secure those kills because Genji is basically an assassin, right? You want to dive in on single low health targets or single targets, even if they're at full health, right? You can kill things, and you just want to delete them. But it's little things like that that are going to be the difference in your gameplay. Again, don't take that fight on the stairs against Genji or against Junkrat. Better Junkrats, what they're going to do is they're not going to shoot the stairs here. They're going to shoot the walls above you, and their splash damage is going to come around and they're going to kill you. Right? Even if you have deflect available, they can shoot in hallways like this. They have room to shoot around your hitbox, your deflect hitbox, and like hit you in the back and kill you. Right? That's just not a good spot to take the fight. Right? I don't know why Junkrat actually has a one-shot kill against you as well, where if he hits one of his mines and then uses his concussion mine immediately after, he can just delete you from existence. Right? Especially if you don't have deflect available. If he knows that deflect is down, then it's a fairly easy kill for Junkrat, especially in a small hallway like this. So just don't take that fight. Just back out and stay up on high ground here. Throw some primary fires into the enemy team. Just kind of poke and look for an opportunity to dive on a squishy target. Even if Junkrat is standing over here, you could probably dive this Junkrat, assuming you hit like your triple headshot dash combo against him. And then dash away immediately. Like at that point, you want to use your ghost dash because he drops mines, right? He has his, I think it's called Mayhem, his death mines, right? So that's when you could use your ghost dash and like dash into the Lucio or dash into the Echo or something like that. Again, don't take this fight. Yeah, see, there's his one-hit kill. We're low health anyway, but
I will not falter.
so your team's dying. That fight's lost.
You seem nice. I hate to kill you.
Your team has spent almost this entire 3 minutes just trickling in and dying. Beating in, dying, and that's a team coordination thing. You as a player have to recognize that, right? You as a player need to understand that Genji's playstyle, his dive playstyle, requires your team as well, right? Unless you have some crazy mechanics and can secure a whole bunch of assassin-style kills. Don't push main as Genji. Like, you could have... Genji is don't push main like this, right? So jump up through window up here. Like, your team's pushing main, which is fine. But jump up here and take, like, this soft flank, right? Take an off angle and fire shots in there. Make them turn to look away from you, right? And then you can jump up here, too. Right, and you can shoot down on them, and then you're in a very good position to use Dragon Blade, right? You are above them, you're off to the side, you are on a like a soft flank, essentially, right? And right, so don't push down main here. Use your mobility, use your ability to flank, use your wall climb. Now would be a good time to blade. So, again, you've been holding on Blade for a little while here, but again, that's kind of because you haven't really had a good opportunity to, which, again, is because your team hasn't been pushing in. But now, your Zenyatta, for whatever reason, has transed, right? And so at this point, I would be blading, because through Transcendence, the enemy team can't kill you, right? So, assuming that Zenyatta somewhat plays aggressive with you, like you dashed in, you killed their Lucio, so you know for sure that they don't have beat, which is good, right? So you have dash reset, you can swipe, dash, swipe against their Echo, their Diva's low, like you can easily secure 3 kills here. Easily. Or secure these 2, right? And basically win this fight for your team. So this would be a good time to blade. Nice. when you're in that close to somebody, just use your secondary fire, right? So you fire out your fan, because it has um, a much shorter animation. You can kill things a lot faster, and when you're in that close, like all three shurikens are gonna hit. So you're gonna hit three shurikens no matter what, and it's gonna do the same amount of damage as your primary fire, but the animation itself is much faster. So you do a secondary fire melee, and you kill things much faster. That's right. Stay away from Tyre. Doomfist is also a threat to you, so you need to be wary of that. Because your deflect doesn't do anything against him. And he can one-shot you. So you tried to dash away from the Moira. The one mistake there is you had already grabbed this health pack, so you know it wasn't there, and you dashed down on this way. If you had dashed down this way and grabbed the Mega, you probably would have survived that. But your team's lost this point anyway. Like, there's no way they can get back in touch in time. Yeah.
Activating self-destruct sequence.
So things that I'm seeing. One, I like how you're going on flanks. You need to change up which flanks you go on a little bit more. Like, you're kind of choosing right or left. You don't have too many options, but basically try to be a little more unpredictable at where you're going. You're not really playing with your team. You know, you are dashing in, diving in, trying to get kills when your team isn't there to support you. No matter what hero you are playing, you always want to push in as a team. And it is even more important for dive heroes, because if you are diving in without your team to support you, without your team to help you, you are just going to die, you are going to feed, and which is basically what happened for all 4 minutes of that round, is your team never once grouped up and never once took those fights as a full 6-person team. Mechanic-wise, you need to practice your one-shot kill combos. You know, that's going to help you secure kills much faster. You were securing those kills, which is good. You know, you were signaling out targets. You were attempting to punish them for being out of position, which is fine. Are you going to the spot? Yeah, you're going to the spot. I like the spot. It's a good spot. But, and then use of Dragon Blade, you wasted you wasted your first Dragon Blade. Your second Dragon Blade was good. Your second Dragon Blade, your team should not have lost that fight. If your team had grouped up and fought as 6, you probably would have won that point if you didn't waste your first Dragon Blade, or even if they didn't, you probably had time to build a third Dragon Blade if you didn't hold on to them for so long. But holding on to your second blade for so long wasn't, I mean, it wasn't a good thing, but why you did it is because you didn't have a good opportunity to, because you never grouped up as a team. Alright, so wait for your team. Like, I guess even if you're not in voice chat, just wait for your team to engage, right? Wait for the rest of your team. Don't poke in by yourself. Don't feed like that. All right, so that's basically first round. So second round here, when you're on defense. So you're starting off on this flank. I like this flank. It's a good spot because most people don't expect you to be there. However, in higher ranks, the enemy team is going to recognize that you were playing Genji, right? And they're probably going to assume that you are playing Genji. And people gold and above know this spot. And so the enemy team, if they were smart, as they're walking through, they're going to do a quick back check to see if you're up there, right? And which is fine, right? Because they can't really do much to you. You know, you could just run down here and dash to escape. You have all kinds of things that you can do, but just be wary that as you climb, people are aware of this spot, and knowing that you are playing a flanker like a Doomfist or a Genji or Tracer or something like that. I guess Tracer can't get up there. Widow can though. But they're going to check that spot and they're going to know that you're there. But here, basically, what you're looking to do here is single out one of their targets, right? So as they push in, basically what you want to do is you want to not dash in. This is one of those, like, a triple headshot dash. So you reset your dash, secure a kill on something low health, and then use your dash wall climb to get up through your window back to your team, right? So you want to, what I'm looking for you to do is find a squishy in the back line, get one of your one-shot kill combos off or secure the kill, and then dash, wall climb, escape through window back to your team. You should not be staying back here for too long. Unless, of course, the enemy team doesn't deal with you, and then you can kind of hide back here. But your options for health pack, you have basically two options. There's one to your left and one in building right underneath. But I guess there's 3 health packs here.
2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Your Zarya and Moira should not be there. So their Pharah just got shot, and she didn't even flinch. Like, it didn't even turn to look at you. Like, she was close enough, she would have heard the animation, she would have seen that the hit markers came from behind her, and she did not even turn to look at you. Right? Which is a silver level awareness for sure. In higher ranks, they are going to see where those hit markers came from, and they're going to realize that there's somebody behind them. And then this Pharah is going to turn and look at you, and she is going to drop down on you and punch and like rocket punch you or whatever, and basically kill you. So again, you're landing 3 body shots there. It's a little tough to hit Pharahs, I will admit, but that's one of those times you get hit the triple headshot dash instant kill, or you were close enough that you could do your a couple of fan shots to try and hit 2 shurikens for sure, and dash reset out, right? The other thing too is if she had turned to look at you, that would have been a good time to deflect, because you can deflect her rockets and kill her. So that's not bad, but just make sure that you can secure that kill. You did miss a couple shots there, which is a mechanics thing, and again, that's just one of those things that you need to practice. Again, it's a lot easier to hit those right clicks. Stay on the Pharah. Like, that Pharah doesn't know you're there. That Pharah is a threat to your team. Where did that Pharah go? It's Pharah. Oh, she went back. Okay. Yeah. But,
Enemy contact.
it's okay to right click. It's easier to hit your right clicks than your left clicks. So right there, you could have done a little wall climb, turned and shot, and tried to use a couple of right clicks to secure the kill on that Pharah. Be persistent, right? She's low health and discorded now, right? So she was 1 dash or like 1 shuriken basically with discord away from dying, right? So all you needed to do is hit 1 more shot, and she would have been dead. Pick a target and kind of stick with it, especially when that Pharah, when she's so out of position. Right in here, right now, I don't like this because you're kind of just sitting, pushing main. Should be like up in window, kind of trying to poke down on their backline. You can jump up here and try to poke things. You should not be. You should not be right here shooting. Right, if you're going to shoot through main, do it from behind cover. Do it from way the hell back where you are not in any major threat of a team, especially because your Orisa looks like her shield's broken. So like your Orisa's playing safe, your Zarya's trying to build charge. Everyone else is kind of trying to get around cover. Yes, you're easy to hit, but you're difficult to hit, but always try to avoid being right out in the open, right in the middle of choke. Right? This is just asking to die. And the other good thing here, it looks like you're going after that Reaper. That Reaper has no Wraith form, so you know he has no escapes from you. Yes, I like it. Good kill. So that's one thing is Reaper, if you're playing him like a dive hero, remember how I said you always want an escape? You never want to Wraith form into a team. Again, if you ever play Reaper, never Wraith form in. Always have your Wraith form to get out, right? It's fine to teleport in, so long as you have Wraith form to get out back to your team. Never Wraith form in. So it was good you... excuse me. It was good that you realized that that Reaper used his Wraith form to get in, had no escape, and you punished him for it. So you saw that Pharaoh was low. You saw the Pharaoh was discorded. You dashed in. You missed your dash. You missed a couple of secondary fire. But she low health and discorded. Just stick with it, right? Secure that low health target. Secure that kill with that discord, right? It's hard to hit a baby diva. It's easier to hit a Pharaoh than a baby diva. Especially when Pharaoh's low health. Don't be afraid to use your secondary fire, right? Again, it'll be easier to hit. Even if you just hit one shuriken, it's enough to burn her down, especially when she's discorded, right? Dive a target, stick with it. Secure that kill. And another thing too is with baby divas, you want to leave them alive, right? So remember how I said about trickling in and staggering like that? Baby divas are a fantastic target to stagger, right? Because you want to keep them alive as long as possible, right? Because they're relatively easy to kill when you have your entire team focusing them, and they take a while to build their mech up if they can't do damage to you. If they do damage to you, sure, they can build their mech up pretty quickly, but leave them alive. Like, what's their baby diva gonna do from back here? Like, all she can do is shoot into the shield. So it's gonna take her a while to build her mech back up again. She's useless to her team right now. Let her waste time. Use that Moira Orb. Little thing, when you've got a Moira Orb like that, use that to heal yourself up to full. Even if the health pack here was available, it just gives your Moira a little bit more ult charge, right? It helps your team out a little bit. Like, she's at 97, right? So if you had healed up that last 12 hit points, you would have gotten her to 99, right? It's a little thing like that, but it helps out your team, right? It helps your Moira build ult charge. It heals you to full, especially because this health pack isn't available, but so yeah, so there, you probably should have used Moira Orb to heal yourself up to full. Your Orisa's on a flank for some reason. And there you are low ground shooting through choke. As Genji, that's never where you want to be. Like, you could have come out and wall climbed up here and then just taken pot shots down here. You did dash in and try and kill that Pharah, and then you decided to walk in through choke. Don't do that. Wall climb up here, jump on high ground, wall climb up here, dash through window. Avoid walking through main sightlines of the enemy team. That's why you got hit with Sigma's Rock, is because you were main and it was an easy shot for him to hit, right? And you used your deflect, you didn't have dash available. You're lucky you survived that. Thank you, Zenyatta. Triple headshot dash. Beautiful. I like it. Alright, let's see how you use Blade. A little bit early on the dash. Again, you're hitting a lot of body shots. Just look up a little bit, hit those headshots. Don't shoot into Sigma's kinetic grasp. Alright, so target priority there, not ideal. Again, Sigma's a tank, he's got a lot of health. When they have squishies available, like a Pharah's a bigger threat to you than Sigma. Your team is fighting on point, do your best to try and help them. Pharah is a huge threat to your Zen, so you definitely want to try and focus her down to protect your Zenyatta. Especially because he's close to ult, right? So his Transcendence is going to be vital with surviving a couple of these ultimates. So you want to try and protect him and keep him alive any way you can. So again, you're also low ground and you're fighting him on the ground. When you're 1v1ing something like this, always be jumping. Like, jump up and use your double jump to jump over top of them and shoot down. Like, just be annoying, be hard to hit, be unpredictable. You wasted deflect into his kinetic grasp. When he kinetic grasps like that, he can't shoot you. He can't punch you. He can't hit you. Right? So just like I said earlier, just melee into him, dash through him or something like that. Don't shoot into his kinetic grasp. Don't build his shields. And then you kind of got flanked by the Pharah because you weren't paying attention to her. But
Experience tranquility. My ultimate is ready.
Don't be afraid to use dash a little earlier to get back from spawn. Don't focus Baby Diva. So, why did you get bubbled there? That was a waste of bubble. But that goes back where don't kill Baby Diva. Just stagger her. Like, you can stay near her and kind of just, like, harass her and be annoying to her. You know, maybe call somebody else from your team over or try and lure her to the rest of your team. Let her, you know, and just kind of hang out. Let her do what she wants, kind of thing. I mean, a smart Baby Diva is just going to jump off the edge and reset, and that's what they're going to do at higher ranks. So you want to try and prevent her from basically suiciding off the edge of the map. But leave her alive, and that way, when the next team fight starts, when the next team fight engages, then you can kill her. So that way, it's an instant win because you're fighting 6 versus 5, and they don't have their diva, who's a pretty big counter team. No need for you to drop off high ground there. So you can deflect Roadhog's hook. Wrong target there. You should be focusing their Baptiste. So, you know, you fired into their Sigma there when their BAP was kind of over here. You definitely should have, if you were going to choose a target there, that was a bit of a risky dive. If you're going to choose a target, choose their BAP, right? Because you're either going to land a one-shot combo on him and kill him, or you're going to do enough damage to him that he's going to panic and waste his Immortality Field, which is his most valuable cooldown, and it is a long cooldown. Right? And if you waste Immortality, then you have a free blade. Okay. So they've wasted basically everything that is a threat to your Genji blade. You've already won the fight, and you've been holding on to blade forever. I blade here. You've been holding onto blade for like 3 minutes now.
30 seconds remaining.
Don't be afraid to press Q. You don't need to get those big plays every single time. You don't need to get those big 3-4 man kills every single time. I get that you're probably trying to wait to combo with your Zarya, but you don't have to. Right?
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, so like your first blade, you had no one to support you. You just held on to blade too long. There were Lucio, no.
New defense point.
That fight was already lost, buddy. If you had touched before they captured it, maybe, but I mean the fight was lost, man. Good kill. But yeah, as I was saying, you know, that was the same problem with your first blade, is that you did so without your team there to help you, without your team to support you. Good kill on the soldier. The soldier was solo ulting a hog. It's not good. But jump over top. Jump up, use your double jump. Again, so when 1v1ing, always use your double jump, always be annoying and difficult to hit, right? You should almost never be like on the ground, just straight up fighting. Good kill on the Ana. Man, he's so low. He's a standing still target. Oh, okay, there he goes. Again, in that close, right click. It's a faster animation. Right, secure the kill faster. This Ana's gonna die. This Ana should die. Okay. So, another thing you need to be careful of is when diving Anas, when they have both their cooldowns. Right? So, either one of Ana's cooldowns is a death sentence for you. Like, she can sleep you, and then a smart Ana's gonna get some help, and you're just gonna die. Right? Or if you get antied, again, it does a decent amount of damage to you, and because you cannot heal yourself, because you cannot get healing from your team, you are going to die. So, you need to be very careful when diving Anas. So when you are behind them like that and they don't know that you're behind them like that, it's okay because you can get off one of your one-shot combos and kill them before they have a chance to react. But if you don't land that one-shot combo, that Ana can nade you, that Ana can sleep you, right? You're lucky the Ana missed the sleep dart, and you got the kill. If the Ana had slept you, you were a dead man. So just be mindful of enemy cooldowns that can kill you, like Ana's nade, Ana's sleep. Um, yeah, be careful about diving Ana's.
60 seconds remaining.
You seem nice. I hate to kill enemy contact. You seem nice. I hate to kill
Fire in the hole!
30 seconds remaining.
Tranquility. Thanks.
Victory
Why did you send trans there? Yeah, so you're asking to die there. I don't think I need to explain that death.
10 seconds remaining.
Just a little longer. Turn them back.
So again, you've been holding on to Blade for like 3 minutes here. Now you have to Blade because it's overtime, and Ana first. Ana should be your first target.
Defeat.
Yeah. Okay, so, you have to be careful when blading, because again, Ana can sleep you, Ana can nade you, both of which are death sentences to you. So, um, do your best to try not to dash directly into Ana, because that's an easy sleep dart for her to hit, as you found out. And you hold on Blade for too long. You held on to Blade for too long on both those points. The biggest things that I think you need to focus on if you want to climb out of silver, a little bit on target priority. It was good you were playing him like a flanking hero for the most part. You were off on a soft flank, and you were kind of poking in, securing kills. But you need to do so with your team, right? So if no one's in voice comms, try to tell, or if people are in voice comms, try to tell your team to regroup. If no one's in comms, just wait for your team to regroup. Wait for your team to engage, right? Don't push in without the rest of your team. Otherwise, if you do so, you are feeding and you're basically soft throwing. Because you just can't 1v6, 1v5, 1v4 enemy team. That is the biggest thing. Positionally on defense, you spent a lot of time out in the open in choke. That's no good. You should always be on high ground somewhere, off on a flank, behind the enemy team. You should almost never be in the main choke, just firing down the main lane, right? You should always be off to the side somewhere, trying to find an off angle, trying to flank. Be an assassin. Mechanically, you should probably practice your one-shot kill combos. Again, that's a mechanics thing. That just kind of comes with playtime, and it's one of those things that, especially with Genji, you are going to have to put in the time to practice, like in the training arena or in a custom game mode or something like that. You need to put in the time. You need to put in the effort. You held on to Blade for too long. You wasted 2 of the 3 Dragon Blades you got that match, and then I think the one that you used, well, you kind of used in a bit of a panic. But basically, it's the same idea as when he's in poke phase. Excuse me. It's the same idea as when he's in poke phase, where you want to um, engage with your team, right? Dragon Blade is a good ultimate to engage to start the team fight with, but you need to do so when the rest of your team is engaging with you, right? So you have support, so you have people to help you, right? It's whenever you watch those big like 4 or 5 man kills, Genji's always engaged with it, and the team is there. Their team is engaged with them, right? So they kind of have free reign to get a couple of free kills, right? And with that, you don't need to get those big 4 man blades every single time. Even if you get one kill, it was worth it, right? Because getting one kill, 2 kills like that kind of secures the team fight win for. Um, but yeah, biggest thing is focus on um, keeping on the flanks like that. Avoid the main choke. And just practice your mechanics a little bit more, and or the one shot combos, and don't be afraid to press Q.